The biggest thing I think about when I think of MLK, his message and unity, is I know from plenty of classes that I've had to take growing up as a black kid, it was kind of tough back then, especially in like a male white dominated field such as engineering. But now the way I see it is I can walk into a room and not feel like I'm completely alone in there, you know? I can walk into a room and feel like there's people I can talk to, there's people I can relate to, there's people that will relate to me, and not a person in there is going to feel like I shouldn't belong there. Every day it feels like more and more I'm walking into spaces, I'm talking with people, I'm meeting new people, and I always feel like I belong. Originally, I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. When I was a kid, I remember the second I saw Iron Man for the first time, I was like, I didn't know what it was, didn't know what he was doing, but I was like, whatever he's doing, I need to take steps in my life so I can do whatever he's doing. I need to be doing that. I would say, aside from always pushing us to take on new creative outlets, one of the best things I probably got from my parents was actually more of the mindset. Within our house, we weren't allowed to say can't, as in, oh, I can't do this. They would immediately come and shut us down and be like, no, say it again. It's not you can't do it, you're having trouble. You just haven't found the way to do it. I first got into 3D printing back in middle school, and then from then on it just kind of became a hobby of mine. And I think one of my favorite questions is people ask me, oh, what can I 3D print? And I'll say, well, I don't know, what can you imagine? You can make anything you can imagine. If you can imagine it, you can 3D print it. Iron Man and like Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood, those spoke to me more than your standard superhero movie, because through study and practice, they were able to achieve greatness. They were able to apply mathematical thinking, engineering thinking to build devices and machines that help them surpass their own limits. One of my friends who I made in undergrad, he doesn't have his right arm from about the elbow down. So he and I had been working together, and I started designing a bionic arm for him. From the time I finished my undergrad now into the master's, I'm just gonna keep working on it, staying in touch with him so I'll be able to try different prototypes, test different materials out, find faster ways of making them, add more functionality to them. This is the kind of stuff that I wanna do going forward in my life. I've always wanted to be an astronaut. I feel like subconsciously I've just been making sure that I stay, physically fit, make sure I'm staying on the STEM field and the STEM track, because I feel like if I'm capable of going to space, even if it's just once, I feel like that's a thing I should do within my lifetime. I feel like that kind of ties into that, like, oh, it's not a thing I can't do, I'm just having trouble, I'll find a way to get that done. Within the John D. O'Brien African American Institute, I've been fortunate enough to meet a lot of underclassmen, younger students than myself, who say, hey, Isaiah, like, the stuff you're doing, this is incredible. I want to learn how to do stuff like that. I'm now in a position where I can give them the mentorship that I could have benefited from. I'd say for me, every year MLK Day is more of a reflection on how far I've come, what kind of obstacles have I had to overcome to get to where I am now. And then also I take it as a chance to kind of look forward. Okay, how do I want to improve the field I'm in so that way kids who grew up like me can have it better than I did?